So let's talk about why you're really on here today.
We're not
Uh,
here to talk about coaching and mentoring.
can meant yeah, no, we are.
We talk about that
Uh,
all day.
yes. So you are first of all. So the Girlz Inc. So lots of people on Tatter-a-fact are on the courses. Some of the
Yeah,
courses on the Girlz Inc. Training Academy. And by now, they all know that they just got moved over from the old platform to the new platform.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. We outgrew the old platform. And it got to the point where the old platform wasn't even being updated by its creators. So we were, we had to get off it and get off it quickly.
It was a smart decision.
A
Yeah.
very smart decision. But we've gotten lots of compliments on the new layout and how user friendly it is and whatnot. So now now we're growing the platform, and we are all super happy to have you, Rose, on the platform with your own course. And so I wanted to talk about that course a little bit.
Yeah.
Your course launches in a little over a week on June 12th. And so let's talk a little bit about your course, what your course is, and why someone would want to take it. Like, firstly, what is your course? So describe your
Okay, so
course.
my course has nothing to do with permanent makeup, although I created it through the lens of a permanent makeup artist, which I am, and it's called Back to Brow Basics. So it's a brow shaping and temporary tinting course. I don't teach you how to use my modality and tool, although hand tweezing is my jam. I've been over 30 years as a brow shaping artist. In fact, I was a brow shaping artist for over 20 years before I was ever even a permanent makeup artist. And that's how I grew my business. That's how I grew my clientele. And I wanted to get back to basics because we were talking earlier about all this, all these bad comments about coaching on social media. And I was talking about how I had JOMO, joy of missing out, because I took myself off social for a few months just to kind of cleanse my palate. And I've been kind of riding that wave for a while. And so this has been 2 years. You and I have been talking about this for 2 years. I've been building this course for 2 years. It's been in the thought process. And so I wanted to get back to basics. I feel that um, artists are seduced by sexy trainers teaching these sexy courses with these sexy names. And at the end of the day, it's all just permanent makeup, just with another, fluff and glitter on it. Right. And there are opportunistic trainers out there. There are a lot of magnificent trainers as well. But at the end of the day, artists are investing so much money in paying for these, and learning these sexy techniques and sexy courses with sexy trainers and sexy locations, but they're not getting back to basics. They don't understand brow anatomy. They don't understand
Mm-hmm.
the skin canvas that they're working in. They don't understand the integrity of the bearer's brows. They sort of were trained in this like sort of cookie cutter concept, using sort of stencils kind of thing. So my course, although it's about brow shaping, right? So back to brow basics, I educate you about the follicle, because I cannot tell you how to properly remove those unwanted hairs until I educate you about the follicle and about hair growth patterns. And I can't educate you about hair growth patterns unless I tell you, let's put your clients on a brow growth plan. Because guess what? And if you're a permanent makeup artist listening right now, you know that not everyone's a candidate for permanent makeup. Not every client, wants to lean into that space yet. Some
Mm-hmm.
clients are scared or apprehensive or for whatever reason. And to get to know your clients, an amazing way to get to know them is through brow shaping, which, by the way, clients come every 4 to 6 weeks on average, right? This is a reoccurring service. Even if they do receive permanent makeup, they're still going to have to come back to clean up their brows, right? I like to consider brows like a garden, like a brow garden in nature.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah, but I
garden,
don't,
there's weeds.
and not to interrupt you, but I don't think some artists consider that, right? Because some artists think,
Right,
well, once we tattoo their brows,
right.
we don't see them again for a couple of years. But
Before you,
we
yeah,
tweeze and remove a lot of excess
back,
brow because they're
correct,
too thick or they're too
right,
low, hanging on the lid, they're closing up the eye.
right,
We tweeze that
right.
out or use twinkles or whatever you do to
Yes,
remove the extra hair. And then that extra hair grows back.
Right.
for
Right.
that
Because hair has
client.
to do with the skin.
Yeah,
We tattoo in the skin, but the hair follicle, although they coexist, they're separate
right.
entities. So if someone has invested their time and money with you in permanent makeup, then they're going to want to keep that brow going, especially clients like me that have a lot of hair. Or on the flip side, I have a lot of colleagues for years. They give free consultations. I'm like, I've never given a free consultation ever, because in my practice, you have to schedule a brow shaping and temporary tinting appointment. And you're with me for 45 minutes because my sessions are 45 minutes. This is what I teach in the course. And I teach you how to assess the anatomy of the person's face
Mm-hmm.
based on their facial features.
Thank you.
I teach facial anatomy. How
Thank
to
you.
determine the
Based on their
blueprint
shape, based on their
based
shape,
on their bone.
not this boxy
No,
square
no,
Instagram
yeah,
brow. Well, can I tell you a
no,
really
I don't believe
cute
in
little
that.
story?
Yeah,
So just a couple weeks ago, or maybe 4 weeks ago or so, well, this has happened twice, like maybe in the last 6 months, and it happened maybe a month or so ago. So I have a client with an artist,
yeah,
and I pop, she drew the brow on, and these clients are they're not 20, or they're not even 30. They're a more mature client.
yeah.
I'm not saying 60 or 70, but maybe in their 40s. And I walk in, and so the artist is like, oh, she doesn't really like the brow shape, and I look at the client, and I'm like, well, because she doesn't belong in an Instagram highly structured brow. It didn't look good on her, Rose,
Yeah,
and she didn't
right,
like it. So we had a complete, because she used the string and just did that super structured
right.
brow that they're doing on, or not,
Yeah,
I don't want to make blanket statements, that a lot of artists are doing on everybody. So we erased the brow. She did not really have that ability to freehand and draw like a custom shaped brow outside of that structured brow. So I kind of had to draw it on there. And she
yeah,
wanted it thinner and a little this and a little that, and it fit her. And she ended up with a really pretty brow shape that wasn't super structured, that looked amazing on her, and that she fell
right.
in love with. So I think your course and what you're teaching is really super important. And I think it's important for all brow artists listening right now that all those strings, calipers, rulers, all fantastic if that's what you need to get
Right.
to symmetry. Great. Structured brow looks amazing and sexy on some people. Great. But you are going to have a percentage of clients that learning how to freehand a little. Maybe you put it on first with strings and rulers to get the symmetry, but then you've got to start editing that and adjusting that to be a little higher, a little curvier, a little thinner,
Right.
a little, to suit her bone structure and her age, Because I don't think most 60 and 70-year-olds look good in
Right.
a Kim
Exactly.
Kardashian eyebrow.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
think it's
A
really
better version of
important,
their brow.
yeah, to
Right. They want a
learn.
better version. Right.
Right. So although structure brows and measuring tools are fantastic, and I am all for them 100%. I even get out a ruler once in a while. I do think it's equally
Yeah.
as important to
Right.
learn how to freehand and learn brow drawing, to become an artist, a real artist, and to practice that art of being a brow artist that can draw brows.
Exactly. And that's what I teach them. I said, first, let's look at the face, and then, look at the canthus and look at the nose, and take your fingers. This is your most useful tools, your fingers. And even with your eyes closed, you can identify where the arch is. You don't need grid lines on the face to do that. If that's your jam and you produce an amazing eyebrow, then great. But I don't believe in brow trends. So I consider eyebrows part of the facial anatomy. So I always like to give the example, if the trend right now was to have a bump on the nose, would you go to the plastic surgeon and get a bump implanted in the nose? Of course you wouldn't. Same theory applies. Trends are great for clothes or for color or washable makeup, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to removing the hair, because let me tell you something, I'm also an electrologist, which is why I talk about the follicle so much. And I'm a hair growth expert in my area. I'm constantly putting clients on brow growth plans, which, by the way, yes, I do include that in the course. The course literally is worth module 3, because module 3, I educate you about the follicle 101. what the hair needs to grow and how to place your clients on a brow growth plan, which then leads us into selling retail, which is also part of the course, because I can't talk about one thing without talking about all these other things, right?
Right.
And so I sell brow growth kits all the time, which leads to your bottom line, right? Which adds to your, revenue per hour.
Right.
And it's helping the client because the client can purchase your kit. You're giving them insight education. You're the expert. And then you're putting them on a plan where they're coming in every 4 weeks. So you can sort of keep, track of their eyebrow progress. They're paying you for the service. You're establishing this amazing relationship with them that we just can't do as PMU artists, because especially if you've trained with Taryn and Powder Brows, your clients are going to come back every 3 to 4 years. You're not going to see them as often as you would brow shaping.
Yeah.
And so important to understand brow anatomy and to identify the blueprint based on the bearer's face, not with grid lines on the face. And we talk about that. We teach that in great detail in the course.
Yeah. How many modules are in this course?
So there's 12 modules. Yeah, there's 12 modules. And we talk about sanitation and all those other things that aren't so sexy. But of course I get into the nitty-gritty with the actual shaping. Now, although you see not only in videos but in photographs me using my tool, I'm very emphatic, because there's some artists that are listening right now that say, gosh, I've been threading for 10 years, or I'm really great at waxing. If whatever modality you use, that is up to you. This is not a how to hand shape an eyebrow using a tweezer course. This is tweezing and temporary tinting. If henna is your jam, then that's great. I prefer not to use henna. I like to use tint because that's what I've been using for over 20 years.
Right.
I like what's the tint. I like how you can manipulate the color using tint. And I give examples of several kinds of tints that are on the market that are professional grade. And so it's not just, this is my way and that's it. This is the way I do it. Here are other options. But as long as you're maintaining the integrity of that brow anatomy of the garden based on the person's face.
So what if there's someone who is doing brow henna, currently doing brow henna, and they love it? Could this course complement that?
Sure.
Would there be space to also offer tinting? Why would a customer, like a everyday lady looking for some brow enhancement, why would she choose either henna or tint? Or is it kind of both the same, or do they complement? Is there distinct differences between henna and...
I've used henna a few times, but I'm not an expert in henna, so I'm not going to speak to henna. I can only speak to what I know about tint is that I can layer it like a watercolor. So I could dilute it, which I do, right? You're the queen of diluting PMU pigment.
Yep.
Taught me how to do that. And I only now ever dilute pigments. And so depending on the client, if I have a really conservative client in front of me, I'm not going to put this Sharpie marker, tint on them so that they leave looking like an Instagram eyebrow. We lean into it because they're not ready for permanent makeup right now, but they have a lot of, they need a lot of density fill in their eyebrow, right? A lot of flowers missing from their brow garden. So I always tell them, we're going to lean into the space. Normally I would leave that tint on for 10 minutes, but these are first clients I'm talking to now. I'm only going to leave it on for 5 minutes. For the first time, we're going to wipe it off. I'm going to use a very conservative color. Let's say golden, medium brown. Let's say the person has my coloring, dark hair, so it's really conservative. And then we're going to remove it. I'll give you a hand mirror, and then we'll go from there. We'll have a conversation. They are with me every step of the way. It's a very safe environment. And then, so literally we're dipping our toe into the water. I remove it, and 9 out of 10 times they're like, oh my gosh, yes. Like I could see how it's filled in that density. Think of putting a marker on your skin. It'll stay there for a few days.
Right.
So the tint does last on the skin for 3, 4, 5 days, depending on the skin type, which gives you a lot of insight into their skin type if they're coming in for a quote unquote a paid consultation for permanent makeup. Because if the person, you'll know immediately what kind of skin type they have, if they have skin condition, they have oily skin, just by how the pigment stays, and reacts and responds on their skin. It tells me so much. It makes me a better permanent makeup artist just by having them come in first and requiring that initial. If they love permanent makeup, if they love my tinting, they're going to love permanent makeup. Permanent.
Yeah, no, I get it. Because there's a lot of clients. I mean, I do a lot of consultations with clients that they recognize they've lost a lot of their brow definition. They want some brow definition, but they're scared to death of too much. It's going to heal and look like something they've seen on the internet, that has scared them. Or sometimes, Rose, they come in. And so actually, let me finish that thought. So the tinting is a good way of.
Yeah. So like I said, let's say I left it on initially for 5 minutes. It's really light. Then they know what to expect. And they're with me the whole time. Then I'll put in a second layer, sometimes even up to a third layer, but typically 1 to 2 layers does it. And I never just use one color, just like in permanent makeup, you can create variation. You can dilute the bulb for that ombre effect. I could put a darker color on the sort of tail arch area. I could use a medium tone for the mid brow. So you could really custom.
You can be artistic with it.
100%.
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
a bespoke
that's cool.
experience. It really, I teach you how, it's an experience. It's not a cookie cutter situation.
No, I get it. Yeah.
And that's just my vibe.
Yeah.
That's just my vibe.
No, well, that's a good vibe. I would imagine that because this happens to me. I'll have someone come in for a brow consult, right? And I always tell my clients, come in with your brows drawn on or powdered on as you wake up and normally do them for the consultation or the appointment, because I need that visual. I need to see how you're putting them on, how dark, the color you're using. I may talk you out of that color and do something completely different, but I need that visual. Sometimes they come in and I'm like, oh man, I wish you came in with your brows on. I did. And I'm like, you put something on? She goes, yeah, I put powder on. Can't you see it? And I'm like, no, I don't see nothing. There ain't nothing there. And I'm like, okay, there's no way. Yeah,
that's why you know them.
Well, yeah, and I'll put my glasses on. I get up close and I'm like, okay, you did like one little whoosh of a brush and barely any powder particles grabbed the hair, and there's hardly nothing there, And to them, they look in the mirror and there's something there, and they think that I can replicate that with permanent makeup. And even though, yes, I am the dilution queen and I can dilute pigment and get these soft, powdery effects, I can't get to where there's barely nothing. So I have...
That's not the norm, though. Barely nothing is not the norm.
No, I get that sometimes, though. So I would imagine other artists get that in their consultations, and I'll have to tell them, okay, we can do a really soft, natural, powdery look, but there is going to be more color than you're applying. I can't get it to be that barely there or that natural. I can't guarantee that because you're putting it on so lightly. So that would probably be a great candidate for tinting, and that may be a client that continues and always remains a tinting client, right?
Or see, the more, that's the thing, because they come to us so often, they really gain your trust. They start following you on social media.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have overlap clients, like one client is in my chair almost finishing, the other client comes in, we start having a conversation, and let's say the client comes in, has permanent makeup, oh, Susie, meet Taryn, whatever, they have a combo, and then sort of that kind of thing. And so this is just the way, this is from my experience. Other clients refer, it's a good thing. It's that you see them so much, you really establish an amazing relationship with them and incredible trust. And at the end of the day, they're never going to invest time and money with you, especially in the permanent makeup space that requires so much trust, unless you've established that major trust. I mean, they should trust before they invest.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think moving forward, it's all about connection and
lost.
Well, it got lost. I think we started to rely on social media too much, and social media is a key component, I think, and should be nurtured
100%
in your business and attracting clients and showcasing to your community what you do. But I think some people may have gotten a little bit too dependent on social media and lost that hitting the street and visiting doctors' offices and having clients come in and consultations. And I think this is a great, the course is excellent. I just want to tell everybody, we all saw the course, we've all seen it. Willow, Olivia, all of us have seen the course. If we didn't like the course, the course would not be on the academy. It has to be really, no, it's a standard of excellence, which you go above and beyond in everything you do, Rose. So that's why, I knew you would be a great addition to the academy. I knew this course would be stellar. and be an excellent course. So I'm really excited to have it. Everybody does, when they sign up for it, when they register for it, it's a year access and whatnot. And so it's a great course. Is there anything in the course? So we know what the course is about. It's going to help them build skills in brow shaping, learning skin, understanding anatomy. Is there anything in the course as far as marketing, how to get these type of clients, or anything like that?
Why do you say that? Because I can't help myself as innately I am a coach, right? I am a mentor by nature, just like I'm a teacher and educator by nature. I love to teach and I also love to mentor. So I created a guide just for this course for how to grow your brow business. So I do help you along the way. And it's a PDF download that it's included in the course only for this course, for those that purchase this course.
Mm-hmm.
And as a bonus, I just sent, I feel like a commercial. And as a bonus, I created another PDF on something you just mentioned a moment ago. You mentioned it's really important to form relationships with doctors and others in the area. Well, those are collaborations, which in my experience, it's really scary, right? If you've never formed a collaboration or created a pitch deck or tried to, do some kind of a collaboration with a pro in your area in an effort to grow your business, then I teach you how to do that with a bonus PDF that I created as for this funnel. So when we launch the course, you guys are going to offer that as a bonus. So thank you.
And if you order right now, we'll send a second one for free. Call the 1-800 number you see on your screen now.
I grew up in the 70s and but I could help it. That was, that's the way commercials were back then.
That is the way commercials were back then. I know. Ronco.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Ronco items?
From Ronco. Oh,
Ronco. Yeah.
I know.
Okay, that's great.
But I think one of the most valuable things is not even about the course, and I love everything, is my passion is brow shaping. I literally would do it for free. The only reason I don't do it for free, and my clients know this, it's because I have to pay my rent. I've been in my brick and mortar, it's going on 12 years now, and I love where I am, and I have to pay my rent. So, or else it's like, what you love, you love to just, you can't stop doing something if you would do it for free, right? And so that's why clients keep coming back to you, because they feel the passion. There is no pressure, because permanent makeup, I don't know, I'm sweating during PMU procedures. I mean, that is like scary. It's permanent. There's a lot of technique, and it's a 3-hour procedure many times. Brow shaping is not. It's easy. It's creative. It's almost like, I feel like a bartender, like where you're learning where you get to know your clients and you're hearing they come to you with all their problems. It's just a beautiful conversation and relationships that you're forming. And one of the things that I also teach in the course, and what I'm known for in my area, is what I call 2-minute makeup. So they come to me for permanent makeup, for brow shaping, right? Your brows are done, beautiful, but they're a little darker. And for the most part, my clientele, they come from the gym or they've come from pickleball. They're not really wearing any makeup. And I don't want them, they may hate, their brows may be a little darker today, but because the tint lasts 5 or 6 days, it goes lightening every day. So I like to balance the features of the face with simple makeup, literally 2-minute makeup, a little cream blush, I may put some on the lids, a little concealer under the eyes and around the brows to, sort of hide any discoloration. Something very easy, super minimal consumable cost. I'm talking pennies, but it is so valuable. Tara, you have no idea. I've been doing this for my entire career. And clients come to me on purpose without any makeup on, because they know that I'm going to spend a few minutes at the end of each session. It takes me no time. Again, no consumable cost, but it's priceless. Well, and they love that added service. I put a little
and I see the value in that as it's like 2 or 3 minutes for you to get for that client to have the opportunity to get your vibe and fall in like with you. I think that's really, really important. Many, many, many years ago, I did a coaching seminar, and they were expressing it's not. Yes, it's important that they like your service and they love the brow that you did for them. Of course, that is important. It's got to heal beautiful. It's got to age beautiful. They got to, but it's equally, if not more important, that they also fall in love with you, because there could be multiple artists in your area that do equally as skilled work.
Right.
And what's going to make you stand out from all that level 10 work in your area? It's going to be you. It's going to be your personality, that hug you give everybody as they're walking out of your studio, that chocolate maybe you give everybody as they walk in, those few moments where they just get to let their hair down, forget about their everyday stresses, and maybe laugh and have some wonderful conversation with you. I think those moments that we have with clients are really super valuable. I know I'm someone my entire career that never overlooked those opportunities and those moments with clients. I think that's why I was able to build such a loyal clientele. And to
It's
this,
so simple.
and it is so simple. It is so simple, and it can make such a big difference in someone's life. Because the minute someone walks into your studio, you don't know what they just dealt with the day before, or some bad news they have just gotten, and then this is their opportunity to laugh and smile and receive some warmth and some kindness and some little rouge on the cheeks, or that
I
little.
think it's Maya Angelou. They'll never forget the way you made them feel. Like
Yeah.
like you said,
They'll never ever forget the way you made them feel. Right. Exactly. So I think it's important. Well, Rose, your course, what's the official name of your course again? I forgot.
Back to Brow Basics.
Back to Brow Basics. So Rose's course, Back to Brow Basics, launches in just a little over a week, you guys, on June 12th on the Girlz Inc. Training Academy. And if you have any questions about the course, you can reach out to Rose. You can reach out to us here at Girlz Inc. and we'll answer all your questions. But it is a great course, and I think there's lots of value in it, and I think everybody's going to love your course.
Talking about the client experience, what we just talked about now, I have a whole module dedicated just to the client experience because it's that important, I think.
No, it is that important, and some people don't. They need some guidance and mentorship that alone. Well, a lot of people walking into PMU, they haven't had a clientele before. Yeah. They haven't had that. When I walked into permanent makeup, I had come from the service industry. I was, believe it or not, I was a cocktail waitress.
I know that about you.
Wearing little dresses and little shoes. And I was a cocktail waitress on the strip. I opened Treasure Island. And so service and customer relations was of high importance there. And we had to do classes and seminars on the customer experience. So I was a bartender part-time at nights, and I was a DJ at, sometimes. So I walked into permanent makeup with some experience on customer service. Yeah. But some people walk into, this profession with zero experience with client, which is customer experience, client
and
management.
I know that, and you know that. This is why I put that kind of
and that's another whole beast to learn. I mean, you really need to, there's things to learn about that. So
like I said, you may be a great artist, but there's so many other variables.
Yeah. And you want to be as successful as you can in all the different components of being a PMU artist, right? Because there's several different components. And the better you are, the more successful you are, the more knowledge you are in every single component of being a PMU artist, the more successful overall you're going to be. And I think the happier you're going to be. I think.
I agree, because you're not, it's so diverse. It's like every day is different.
Yeah. All right, Rose.
As artists, we're creative. So, we have.
Well, before we sign off, is there any?
For a long time.
Yeah. Willow's looking at me. She's like, Willow's like this. Taryn. No,
sorry, not. Willow. I have that. Willow, I miss you.
But I will. Well, I'm ultimately going to have the last word, because it's my podcast. But
cheers to that.
But before I have the last word, do you want the second to the last word? Do you want to leave our listeners with anything, profound, funny, anything at all, Rose, before I sign off?
Why didn't you tell me this like 2 hours ago so I could Google and ask ChatGPT for help? I'm just kidding. I always go by Coco Chanel's quote, and she was talking about fashion, but she said, it doesn't take money, it takes understanding. So as long as you, whether that means, gosh, I need help mentoring, I want to learn how to add a service like brush shaping to my menu, I want to learn how to do eyeliner. It's just about understanding. So learning from the right people, doing your due diligence, and asking, just kind of not rushing into those sexy people just because they have glitter around their name, but doing, again, your due diligence.
Well, you're kind of sexy.
Lady,
you're
but,
not unsexy.
My husband would think so, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, my wife thinks I'm sexy. I
like
guess we're all
right.
I guess we're all sexy in our way. Willow's sex. I'm looking at Willow right now. She's sexy, right? I mean,
not that kind of sexy, but like these popular creators. But at the end of the day, it's about understanding. So just and just kind of give yourself grace, and run your own race, and put your blinders on, and you'll be fine.
Yes, that's good advice. All right, don't go anywhere. I'm going to sign off with my viewers, my listeners, mostly listeners. I think we get a few views on YouTube, but mostly they're listeners. All right, you guys. So that was Rose Perez, Back to Brow Basics. And again, launches in just a little over a week on June 12th. I've known Rose almost my whole career. Great human, great artist, just overall. If you've had an encounter with her, then I'm sure you agree. So it's a fantastic course. So I hope you all check it out. Just a couple of reminders. Boston, my main eyeliner class has been sold out for a real long time, but I am going to be in Boston in August. I can't even remember the dates. I should have wrote them down, but it's first part of August. And we got 2 seats left. Julie Mashad at Prettyology is hosting me. It's a 2-day class. It's a whole 1-day workshop in person on mastering your healed and results. And this is I'm in the process of putting this class together. I've never presented this kind of class. It's different. And it's all the key components of healed results, and that involves a lot of things, a lot of different things, and so I'm really excited. This is my new pet project that I'm super passionate about, and it'll be the first time giving it live in person, and that's going to be at Julie Mashad's in Boston. And then day 2 is my eyeliner, high saturation eyeliner workshop, which is a great class. And included in that class, we're going to upload you to Beyond the Epidermis, my full color theory online course. We're going to upload you to my high saturation eyeliner course that just launched a few weeks ago. We're going to give you one of the super black, OMG super black pigments, where you're getting the Beyond the Epidermis posters and booklet so there's a lot included in this course for the price. I think it's $19.95 for the 2 days and all that. 2 seats left in Boston, and it is August something. Willow's looking at me. I know it's the first weekend in August. Anyway, you can email me at training@girlzinc.com. And I'll tell you the dates, or you can go on girlzinc.com and look at the training calendar. It's on there. But anyway, 2 seats left. I'd love to have you. And those are all my announcements. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Happy to have you today. And remember to stay in the pursuit of happiness. And we will see you next time on A Tatter-a-fact.